Joseph and his brothers in the Joseph's Early Life and His Dreams, Genesis 37. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, also called Israel, and the firstborn of Rachel, Jacob's beloved wife. Because of this, Joseph was his father's favorite. Jacob gave him a richly ornamented robe, often called the coat of many colors. Joseph's favoritism angered his brothers. Things got worse when Joseph shared two prophetic dreams. In one, his brothers' sheaves of grain bowed down to his sheaf. In another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars, representing his parents and brothers, bowed down to him. These dreams enraged his brothers, who saw them as claims of superiority. Joseph sold into slavery, Genesis 37. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers tending sheep. When they saw him coming, they plotted to kill him. Reuben, the oldest, persuaded them not to kill Joseph, but to throw him into a cistern, hoping to rescue him later. While Reuben was away, the others sold Joseph to a caravan of Ishmaelite traders for 20 pieces of silver. The traders took Joseph to Egypt. The brothers dipped Joseph's robe in goat's blood and showed it to Jacob, who believed his beloved son was killed by a wild animal. Joseph in Egypt, Genesis 39-41. In Potiphar's house, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, an official of Pharaoh. Joseph prospered because God was with him, and Potiphar made him overseer of his household. However, Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Joseph. When he refused, she falsely accused him of assault, and he was thrown into prison. Even in prison, God blessed Joseph. He interpreted the dreams of two of officials. The cupbearer would be restored to his position. The baker would be executed. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him, but he forgot for 2 years, before Pharaoh. Pharaoh later had disturbing dreams. 7 fat cows were eaten by 7 thin cows. 7 healthy heads of grain were swallowed by 7 thin, scorched ones. The cupbearer remembered Joseph. Joseph was summoned and interpreted the dreams. 7 years of plenty would be followed by 7 years of famine. Pharaoh was impressed and made Joseph second in command of all Egypt. Joseph oversaw the storage of grain during the years of abundance. Joseph's brothers come to Egypt, Genesis 42-45. When the famine struck, Jacob sent 10 of his sons to Egypt to buy grain. They didn't recognize Joseph, now dressed as an Egyptian official, but Joseph recognized them. Joseph tested his brothers. He accused them of being spies and demanded they return with their youngest brother, Benjamin. He kept Simeon as a hostage. They returned with Benjamin, and Joseph tested their loyalty further by framing Benjamin for theft, and offering to enslave him. Judah, once one of the ringleaders in selling Joseph, offered himself in Benjamin's place to spare their father grief. This act of selflessness showed Joseph that his brothers had changed. Joseph reveals himself. Genesis 45. Joseph could no longer keep up the act. In a deeply emotional moment, he revealed his identity. "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" His brothers were terrified, thinking he would take revenge. But Joseph reassured them, "You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to save many lives." Reunion and restoration, Genesis 46:50. Joseph invited his entire family, Jacob and his sons, to settle in Goshen in Egypt. Pharaoh welcomed them and provided land and provisions. Eventually Jacob died, and his sons worried Joseph would now retaliate. But Joseph again forgave them. "Don't be afraid. I will provide for you and your children." Joseph lived to be 110 and died in Egypt, but he requested that his bones be taken back to the promised land, fulfilled in Exodus 13:19. Themes and lessons. God's sovereignty. Even in betrayal and suffering, God's plan was at work. Forgiveness and redemption. Joseph forgave his brothers and brought healing to the family. Growth and transformation. The brothers, especially Judah, changed from selfish to sacrificial. Faithfulness in adversity. Joseph trusted God in every trial.